Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am wanting to give you a quick update on my ninth month, and this again is just a vlog for me to just resonate on symptoms and my journey through vestibular migraines, 3PD, and the such. So, really wanted to make it at one place so that everyone can review symptoms together and share and any tips or any tricks and really just support each other through the journey. So, I will be starting my ninth month journey, or I'm actually finishing up my ninth month journey here, and I wanted to kind of share what had happened on the ninth month and what symptoms are still kind of a struggle and challenges. One of the things that has really helped me, obviously, is therapy, and this not only includes physical therapy, vestibular therapy, but also I've been doing a lot of mental health therapy, and to be honest, it has really aided me. I feel like finally I'm in a place where I'm okay with the vestibular disorder and the diagnoses. I think for the past, 8 months or so, I've really been fighting it. I've been trying to quote unquote go back to normal. It's kind of like that denial phase of, this can't be me. This cannot be me. I have to find something that will work. I kind of have to find that magic pill, that magic potion. And it really has helped me to talk to someone and kind of go through the grieving process of, having a chronic illness and what that means and redefining who I am and all of that and what makes up me now. Which, to be honest, it's a lot for any person who has either a disability or a chronic illness. Just the idea of surviving with all of those challenges and difficulties is a lot to process. I used to just get up and go, and now I can't. I have to really plan my day. I have to review trigger points. I have to review anything in my life that could potentially make me dizzy, and obviously that can cause a little bit of grief. So I think finally I've come to a place of acceptance. I think it's an even flow, obviously, feeling. Sometimes it's harder than others, but I feel like there are other challenges in the world. There's obviously people who have overcome a lot more difficult things, and I'm just thankful that obviously right now I have the opportunity to be semi-functional and I'm healthy and obviously still searching for that remission phase, but we'll see where that takes us. So besides mental health therapy, which I really will encourage everyone who has any vestibular disorders to really reach out. We've talked about panic attacks, we've talked about anxiety, but the depression portion of it really is something that can take a toll on not only mentally but physically, and having that outlet and that resource really is something very important. So I really hope that for any of you that really are, any of us that are struggling with the vestibular disorder, that we continue to have some of that resources, hopefully whether it be through your employment type of work or any of the resources through medical health insurance. Even if you are not able to do that, reach out to just organizations online. Vita is a really good source to just go in there. There's support groups there. There's tons of information online, as well as locally. Like, I'm sure there's people in churches and other organizations, nonprofits, that can support really on mental health and provide those resources. So I really encourage to seek out that information, because it's really important that you feel protected and that you feel like you're supported through all this journey. So that's kind of where my mindset is at right now, which is actually a great segue on kind of sharing what occurred during the ninth month. The 9 month, I feel like it's a reset plan. So really early in the month, I got quite ill and sick. I think it was just a mixture of everything, stress, medication, but also I got some kind of viral bug and I had kind of a stomach flu, quite light symptoms. It got to the point where I did have to go to the ER because I got really dehydrated. I couldn't really keep anything down. And after 48 hours of struggling and feeling really weak and dizzy, I decided that, okay, I think I need to go to the hospital and get some fluids in me, which, they didn't find anything really wrong per se. It was just that I was really dehydrated. I hadn't really been hydrating very well because of obviously the symptoms and not being able to keep anything down. So having, just hydration and anti-nausea medication, that really helped. So that weekend actually was kind of a reset days for me because I realized a lot of things from that. One of them is that I felt like I was taking a lot of supplements and not really understanding if they really were nourishing or helping my body. I think when you have long COVID or you have vestibular disorders, you kind of read whatever's online and you go and try to get it. And at one point or another, I was taking up to 15 supplements, and I really can't tell you if they really helped. And so those actually 3 or 4 days that I wasn't able to really keep anything down and I was on a very limited liquid diet, I kind of started thinking about, okay, why are we taking all these pills? Like, what is the purpose of this? Let's reassess and kind of find out exactly what is needed in your body. Um, and then I started kind of looking again holistically at my health. So I started kind of resetting my plan. One of the things that I first did was actually go online and buy a book. I was following a gluten-free, dairy-free diet. The reason for that is I knew and I know that gluten and dairy is actually one of my triggers just irregularly. It inflames me. This is even prior to COVID and prior to the vestibular disorders. I'm lactose intolerant. I've been since I was a kid or a baby. And so I knew that dairy and gluten were a big trigger for me. But I started reading a lot more about long COVID and potentially the histamine attacks that go into your body. So I went online and obviously I just kind of looked and saw what was potentially something that I could just read about and educate myself. And one of the first things that I found was this book, and I just found it online. It's on Amazon. Um, it's very simple, but it gets the point across. And one of the things that I started doing is kind of just doing that elimination diet and low histamine. And it was easier than I thought, especially because I was feeling pretty ill at the beginning of the month. And so for 30 days now, I have been doing low histamine, gluten-free, dairy-free, very strict. I have been really trying to hydrate. And I know I mentioned in the past that I've been really communicating with a functional medicine doctor, and I finally chose one. I really think that was a good match for me. So one of the things that I've been working with her is on my diet. We're going to be doing lab work as well, and just a little bit of just, lifestyle changes that I need. One of them obviously is looking at my sleep. I've shared that I now have sleep apnea, been diagnosed with it. I did get my machine, and it has been a little bit of a challenge and a struggle to get used to it. But one of the things that I have, even in just a short couple weeks, I have noticed is I am now able to go into deep sleep a little bit more often and longer. Prior to, I had bought a smartwatch to kind of keep track of that. and I knew that I wasn't getting that restorative sleep, that deep sleep. It's where the restoration cycle happens, and I wasn't getting any of that at all. And so I'm kind of very glad that with the sleep app machine, I'm able to at least hit some of that. I haven't found it like an extraordinary thing yet. I've only been using the machine for about 3 weeks. So I think eventually it'll come up. I'm still getting used to it. So there are some nights where I automatically take it off during my sleep. So it's still trial and error, and we'll see where that takes us. But I really do think sleep has made a huge impact and just my overall mood, the way that I feel. I feel a little bit more refreshed in the mornings, and all that. So, where am I in terms of my symptoms? Pretty much from 8 months to 9 months, I haven't really seen a huge impact in terms of symptoms, except for maybe the GI portion of it. Last month, I had like really bad GI issues coming through. I thought it was the nortriptyline, which probably was. And it was just irritating my gut. With this diet, I have been really pleased with the results. My GI issues have just come completely to a complete stop. I feel really healthy. I don't have any bloating. I don't have any reflux, acid reflux at all. So my gut feels healthier, and so I will continue with that, with this approach for a bit. Obviously, we can't really be in such a strict diet for a long time, but it really is just a reset plan to figure out where we need to go, and exactly what supplements I need to take. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of, my symptoms. I'm still having the bobblehead feeling, dizziness come through. I have had dizzy free days. I know I've shared in the past that I've had hours that I was dizzy free, and I've had 2 days where I've actually been completely dizzy free. I've had vision issues during those days, but I hadn't felt dizzy, which is a really win for me because I was ecstatic. Didn't even want to say anything or think about it because I was like, oh, this feels odd. It feels different. But it's really nice that I finally reached those dizzy free days. And obviously, it wasn't, like 24 hours, but it was like 12 hours. So the daytime, which for me, that was a big success because I hadn't experienced it yet. I've experienced a couple of hours here and there, but not full days. And so I felt amazing. With that, brain fog is still there. Besides those couple hours of dizzy freeness, I don't really get anything else. I'm still having kind of visual issues. For a while, my vision issues kind of stopped, but now they're coming back, and I don't quite understand what it is or if it's cyclical. I don't have, any of the kind of like snow effect, or I don't have any of that matrix effect that I had at the very beginning. But I have this focus problem. Like, I just can't focus my eyes. One of the things may be that at the very beginning I was doing a lot of VRT, and so they probably helped me. And now I'm kind of in a maintenance mode in VRT. So I have started trying to do a little bit more and trying to figure out if that will aid. But ultimately, I want to go to a neuro-ophthalmologist. I have had eye exams. Actually, I've had 4 eye exams in the past 9 months, and they all come back well and nothing major. However, I feel like a neuro-ophthalmologist perhaps would be most suited in looking into my eyes and potentially reviewing the vestibular disorder. I did find one. I'm in the Midwest, so it will be about a 5-hour drive from me. But they specialize on kind of brain comprehensive vision exams, which would they really work with people who have undergone brain surgery or brain injuries, people with cerebral palsy or ADHD or any type of mental health that potentially can impact vision. Um, and when I spoke with them regarding kind of my visual issues, they were very in tune on vestibular disorders. They understood exactly what I was saying. And they also told me that they've had an uptick of long COVID patients, kind of with almost the same type of symptoms as myself in terms of the vision issues. And so I'm very excited to go to this. It won't happen until next month, but I'm very excited to see what comes from that. Sometimes I feel like the vision is actually the one that triggers the dizziness. Yes, sometimes I am dizzy, but like sometimes my vision can't process or focus very well. It feels kind of like I'm looking through glass. That's the best I could describe it. Um, Sometimes feels like I'm in a dream, kind of that separation as well. But sometimes it just gets really blurry. I can't focus. Like I feel like one eye looks at the world through one lens and the other one looks like in another lens. And no matter what prescription grade we change and no matter what type of lenses I use, it doesn't matter because it's not like it's coming from specifically the outside of the eye. It's like coming from inside my brain. So we'll see where that takes us. I'm very excited to share about that. So yeah, working with my functional medicine doctor, I am really looking forward with my neuro-ophthalmologist visit to find out more about what is coming or what's happening with my eyes and potentially get some answers or just shine a light on any of that. The other last thing that happened during the month is I got trigger point injections. Again, I did decide to go through with the ones that are a little bit more further up, just because I did see a very good success with the ones that I got in my kind of lower trapezius area. I did feel like those trigger point injections did reduce the tension headaches that I was getting, and some of those tension headaches then kind of breed into migraines. So helping with that, I think, kind of made me decide to go with further trigger injections, which were pretty much in kind of like the middle of my neck, kind of like the C2, C3, C4 area, and I'm still sore. It happened a couple weeks ago, and so I'm still very sore from it. I don't think I've fully recovered from them, but I'm looking forward in the reduction of neck pain and again, like kind of those tension headaches. So I'm really looking forward to that. This time around, it wasn't as bad as the last time, so I'm very happy about that because I was really, really scared. But this time around, I think my body got used to the medicine, the local medicine they were using, as well as just kind of the procedure. I knew what to expect. I knew how to take care of my body, and so I wasn't really nervous or anxious about it. So I'll kind of share and see a little bit more on what that is. Here this month, I'm gonna meet with my neurologist, and we're gonna come to an agreement on what path I'm going to be doing in regards to my medication. So 90 days in with 2 nortriptyline, naratriptan, Timidol eye drops. I honestly have seen a reduction in the headaches. Obviously, I have shared that I've seen a reduction in some of the dizziness. I would not say that the medicine gets me to that beyond 50%. Yes, it really helped me in some situations, and it really helps with kind of the migraine pain that I do get. and the very severe dizziness, it does aid as well. I just don't think that is doing the job that potentially I want it to do. So I don't know what kind of medication will kind of review, pros and cons. He might actually say that I have to stay on it, and try it out for a couple more months. I just feel like after 90 days, while it has aided me, I don't believe that I have reached kind of the peak that I want. I really am still having days where I struggle a lot. Although I am not completely bedbound, there are, hours where I am, where I just can't move. I'm in a lot of pain. I have so much brain fog. I can't really process things. Like the neurological challenges are still very heavy and very big for me to say that nortriptyline was a success. I'm not ready for that, and I don't believe that it is. So we'll see where we land in terms of the medication. So kind of a full month of a lot of things happening, not a lot of things that have moved me in terms of symptom wise. I'm still kind of very much set in the same time frame or same symptoms as um, last month, for month number 8. But month number 9, I think, I feel like I've become into this illness. I feel like I have a little bit more grasp on the understanding of what it is. I know that I'm not going to die from it. I can process and rationalize it a little bit more. And I've come a little bit into the acceptance mode of it. And I think that has been kind of aided me in really looking at my health holistically, not only just comparing myself to other people. Well, they had labyrinthitis and they had only, a couple of weeks of dizziness, and they didn't go in through 3PD, and they didn't develop vestibular migraines. So, kind of beating myself up for that. I think really embracing kind of self-love and self-forgiveness has been really quite a journey. And I think I'm kind of reaching that. So it took a long time, and everybody has their own time frame and timeline, but that's kind of where I'm at on month 9th, and I'm excited for the things that come on month 10th, and I will share any of those. So I really hope your journey has been better than mine, and if it has, please share some tips and tricks or the medications that you're using. Otherwise, I'm giving you all the support that you need. Really, you are not alone. We're all on it together. Blessings, everyone.